Getsuga Talk Show. Oh wow, we're gonna do it in tandem now. Is that the? We're gonna get an intro one day. We're gonna have like some kind of like cliche, like the anti-weeaboo shaming podcast, or
We're gonna have to do something about that someday. Here.
Someday, yeah, we'll come up with something that's enjoyable for everyone involved. That being said, I have a weird screen that is being shown to y'all, so let me fix that for the YouTube purposes. Podcast-wise, though, what do you want to talk about today, Andrew? We were kind of chatting about some things. What anything coming to mind today? What's popping out to you, my friend?
I don't know. In general, let's just talk about anime. What we came to talk about. I mean, anything and everything. Okay. I mean, oh gosh, how do I even put this into words? I've been following a very odd show.
And what is that?
One that you and me talked about last week that you said I would never watch or enjoy.
Was I accurate?
Dear God Almighty, were you accurate?
I think I know what we're talking about. Are we talking about Conception
right
now?
Yes, we are talking about Conception. Oh my God Almighty. This show...
So, as a quick... we'll just kind of leave that there for minor YouTube purposes. That being said, let's talk about it, sure. So, just as a quick overview of the show for the... I say the uninitiated a lot. Let me come up with a different term today. The uninformed. The un-something is going to be what I'm going to say every time. That being said, I'll describe to them how I describe the show to you. It's another isekai. Everyone loves isekais. Another world, another thing, something new, something great. Woohoo, shit's going down, right? That being said, yeah. They have all these new genres, or like new tropes, in another world with a smartphone. In another world, whatever. There's always some new, like, here's the new trope. Hell, we have got Reincarnated as a slime this season that we've been enjoying, don't get me wrong, but it's a new trope for it, right? Make sure your audio's turned down. So Conception is another world, and this is the way I understood it, because I haven't watched it. You decided to eat it for whatever reason and watch terrible shows. He has this new thing where he wants to watch.
You both dared me was part of it.
I don't think we both did. No, what you said is do you want to watch as much bad anime as you can.
Well, yeah, because...
So I told you to start there.
You pretty much said right out that you would not watch it, and it's part of the new 2018 fall anime.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, somebody should watch it and see how it really is. Sometimes, how some people, or a lot of people will say that an anime is absolute garbage, and then somebody will watch it and they're like, hey, this isn't really all that bad. I thought I had hope. I had false hope, but there was hope.
I don't know how you had hope, so let me finish explaining the trope of this anime. In another world, to fuck bitches. They summoned him to this other world so he could literally give people his god semen so they could make babies and repopulate the earth or whatever. So, based off of that, because that's all I knew, you decided to watch it. I'm not sure why.
I decided to watch it because I thought, for some reason, don't ask me how I thought that this was going to be better than what it actually was, but for some reason I thought it might be just not nearly as bad as the descriptor was making it.
I mean, it's pretty rough. I don't know, like...
It was far worse than the descriptor made it. The actual story to this show would be more like... Got stuck in another world with your best friend. Turns out to be a maiden.
Okay.
That is one of 12 that he has to impregnate.
Okay, so there's a specific number. All right.
But unlike High School DxD, where, you get part of the fun of it being a perverted anime.
All right, so what you're telling me is the show wasn't perverted enough, is where you're going with this.
No, more like, on top of the fact that it didn't have a story, like, at all, or really any redeeming qualities, it also cut out the only other thing that could have made it actually entertaining to watch. Because it literally, who likes to get all the way to the point where you're just about to have fun, and then it ends? You don't go any further.
It's called blue balling, my friend.
Yeah. this show is one giant version of that, except without a story, background, any redeeming qualities, other than the fact that a couple of funny things happen. Like the main protagonist finds out that one of the maidens is really into slave domination and beats the ever-living shit out of him with a whip.
I feel like that's them beating down the show for knowing that it sucked.
Pretty much.
I'm sorry. Like, I don't know how that got past the storyboard, and they're like, you know what? This is going to be a hit. This is it. This is what's going to put our production studio on the board. All right? This is it. I have no intentions at any point ever of watching this show.
I would slap you if you did. It is that bad.
So are you accepting this trope now that you're our guy who just watches shit anime?
Pretty much. I will take this mantle if you want to give it to me.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give everybody shit for it.
So that being said, minor plug. I don't know, if you guys have some shows that you think were absolutely horrendous and you don't want to watch or listen to his feedback on it, we can do a little segment every time we do these podcasts of shit anime he's watched recently. We do have an email address. It's getsugatalkshow@gmail.com. It's listed in the Spotify description, on the YouTube. It's pretty much everywhere. If you guys look, you'll find it. It's not hard. That being said, what was the other one we had talked about? The other really bad anime that I told you about that is the stepping stone. Boku no Pico. I don't want to do it to my mans. Are you familiar with Boku no Pico?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And I was scared to death that somebody was going to ask for it. But I have a feeling.
Have you already watched it or no?
I've caught pieces.
You've caught pieces? Got you.
I don't feel like going through the whole thing, but if you so wish to send me through that hell, I will accept. I will do it. Dear God, why am I accepting this? But okay, we'll do it.
I respect your willingness to watch terrible shows. I've heard about Boku no Pico, and I have zero desire to watch it. Like, there's so much anime that there is already that I don't even know.
Oh, God.
It was, it's like what I've seen is just horrendous, and I have no desire. So I have one that's not a challenge, but it is something that's being discussed a lot as either like people fucking love it or people absolutely hate it. It's Eromanga Sensei. Have you heard of it? It is the ultimate sister complex in an anime.
Oh dear God.
And it is. It's uncomfortable for me because I don't get that whole trope, and I'm not a fan of it. But that whole show is about it, and it's pretty rough.
Oh dear God.
Yeah. So think about it. You can get to it. I think it's a pretty short show. I think it's maybe 13 episodes. I'm not sure how long Boku no Pico is, but we'll put that on your list of stuff.
Boku no Pico is going to be absolutely...
We'll talk about it next week. You have 1 week, sir.
I have a feeling I'm going to need to get drunk for this one. So deliriously good.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Got a really bad cough. That being said, just for our podcast listeners, sorry for the late episode. This weekend was a little weird. I overslept. Andrew ended up coming over, but we didn't really have enough time for an episode, and then we
ran out of time, and then Sunday didn't work for any of us.
Really. Yeah, Sunday was just a weird day because I had to work. Everybody was doing stuff, and it just kind of... It is what it is, but we're here. We're hanging out. We have discussed your bad anime of the week, possibly. I think this should be I think it'll be fun, like a weekly. Just like, what shit have you watched recently? Garbage.
The only one I could think of that I've seen that's worse than Conception would be School Days.
School Days, yeah. So that was the one that I was talking about a moment ago. School Days is like, you have to watch it if you watch anime, and you have to suffer through it. And I'll be honest, I haven't watched it yet, but I will watch it. I will put it on my list.
You will watch that one.
I will watch it. It is what I've been told by some viewers of my stream and some friends of mine that it is a stepping stone for anime fans, and everyone must suffer through it. I feel like there's a couple of shows that every anime fan has to watch: Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note.
Definitely.
I think everyone has to watch at least part of Dragon Ball. You know what I mean? Because it's like the most shonen shonen it can be.
That is the great granddaddy of shonen anime.
What else? What would you put on that list of, like, even if it's not good but iconic and you should watch at least some? I don't think any of the big three have to be on that list. I think you should watch some of one of them, but I don't think anyone in particular is more important than the others.
Two that I've been told, no matter who I pretty much talk to, would be Ghost in the Shell.
Okay.
And Akira. Akira is actually, I believe...
Akira is a classic. It's one of the first anime movies of all time, and it was fucking amazing. That's an old school, man. That's a good one.
Yeah. Any of the... I don't know why I consider them more animation than anime, but any of the Hayato Miyazaki films.
Yeah. Well, those are definitely anime. Those are like the original anime movies too. Like that.
Yeah.
He was the evolution of it. Yes, it was a little more weird compared to like what we were used to in anime at the time, but they're legendary.
Yeah.
Any of those, you can watch one of any of them, and I think you've had your step in. You know what I mean? You can watch Howl's Moving Castle, Spirited Away,
Princess Mononoke.
There you go. What's that new one, Ponyo?
Oh dear God. That was probably one of the weirder ones he's done.
Great Neighbor
My Neighbor Totoro.
Totoro, that's what I thought it was. Great Neighbor Totoro, but yeah,
That
My
might
Neighbor
be it.
Totoro. Whatever, Totoro.
It's
you know
been
what I'm talking
a long
about.
time since
Giant,
I've seen
fluffy raccoon
Cat
thing.
God? Something like that?
Whatever he is. They are, whatever. And then I think you have to throw in a couple of shorter series. I think everyone should watch Code Geass.
Oh,
I think it's
definitely.
too iconic not to watch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh man, I think there's a couple. I think you have to watch at least one good sad show. So I think things like Anohana have a spot. Your Lie in April have a spot.
Oh dear God.
What are some other like good sad things? For not Baccano. What's it called? Clannad and Clannad After
Clannad After Story.
Yep.
Clannad is not actually that bad.
Yeah.
It's
the
Clannad After Story that
Yeah.
kicks everybody in the nuts and the feels and just have a bad day.
Yeah.
Eat chocolate.
And then you have to watch. You have to watch one Gundam series.
Oh dear God.
Just one, because there's so many of them. Or I'll let you substitute that for Gurren Lagann, because they're both like mecha-esque, but very over the top. I think you should watch at least one thing in each genre. You know what I mean?
If anybody wants to start with Gundam, oh shit,
Dude, there's YouTube series dedicated to explaining where to start. So don't. It's
yeah.
Iron-Blooded.
My two favorites so far, because they actually have back-to-back stories that fit together,
Yeah.
would be Gundam Seed and Gundam Seed Destiny.
Yeah. To be fair, they all take place in the same universe,
Yeah.
so they all do affect each other.
Yeah,
But there's so many of them that you just don't even know where to start.
Yeah, no.
So I kind of want to take a spin off. This is kind of what I'm thinking we're going to talk about today. What makes a good sad anime?
Oh dear God.
And which, if you could name one, would be your like goddamn moment or goddamn show. Actually, let's separate those. Goddamn moment, goddamn show. So my goddamn moment, and this is I think a nostalgia factor because I think it's one of the first anime that ever made me cry at all, was Angel Beats. The very last episode.
God.
I was like 13 years old watching that shit. I think it was on like Netflix at the time or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like a weekend. I'm an athlete at the time. I'm like this jockey kind of character. And I'm like, enjoying this. They're like fucking shit up with guns and da-da-da-da-da. And then I'm just, oh my God, why did he have to go? Ah! Just crying, bro. Like, I'm so glad no one was home because like solid 20 minutes, I was like, fuck. And I think the show that fucked with me the most, and like, I don't know, there's a couple out there. We just mentioned a couple, and I think I'm going to stick with one of those, and that would be Your Lie in April. It was really rough for me. It was just a fun show because it was about music, haha, light laughter. And the shittiest part for me is I knew going in what was going to happen because I've watched a lot of YouTube videos, it's like top 10 saddest deaths in anime.
And
then you get to the end of it and you're just like, why? Because the whole time you know what's happening, so you're just like, no, why? Don't kill her, no! And then you really learn why the show's called Your Lie in April, and that whole letter she wrote him, you're just fucking... I'm not gonna lie to you, honest to God. Last night I was sitting there watching YouTube videos, and I started with the League of Legends video, and there's League of Legends streamer, her name's Lily Pichu, she makes music, and she did a gender swap version of the final duet in Your Lie in April with this other guy. And then I was like, fuck, I'm getting the feels from the music. I just gotta go watch the scene with the letter and then just cry. So that's what I did for like 20 minutes last night. I was just like, I feel lost. I have nothing left in my life anymore.
Was the saddest anime ending I saw was...
Moment or show? Let's kind of stick to that whole thing.
Cory in the house? What?
Shut the fuck up.
Get the fuck out of here.
Are you not aware of that joke?
No.
There's this huge joke that Cory in the House is an anime. And people are it's this huge meme across the anime community. And it's just, I actually don't know where it started, but it's there, and I think it's fucking hilarious. Because, like, they'll just randomly throw it in, like, YouTube videos, and they're like, number 7, Corey in the house. And you're just like, shut the fuck up, dude. What is this? I'll have to find you. We'll look up some source material after this or something.
Oh, God.
But, all right, let's see your saddest moment and then saddest show overall.
Oh, shit.
And you can have the same one. That's totally fine.
Saddest moment for me was Clanad After Story, when literally the main character...
Spoilers.
Super spoilers, by
Sorry.
the way. My apologies ahead of time.
No, I should have thrown that in ahead of time. Everybody knows. I feel like you're on episode 4. Even if this is where you start, I put it in the description of the videos of the podcast.
Yeah.
Spoiler-heavy show, ladies and gentlemen. We just talk about whatever. Anyway,
main character walking down the street, and him and his daughter are sharing this tender moment, and then he realizes that she's starting to fade away, and he holds her close to her, and she literally dies in his arms. And the last thing she says is, "Daddy, I love you." And your heart literally snaps like a twig under a heavy eye.
I think... Sorry. I think something that makes a sad anime really sad is, like, really showing the emotions and everything that affects everybody. And I think that moment, and July and April did that very well, because you got to see all of their friends' reactions, and you saw what it was doing to the parents the whole time. And I think everyone has that, like, intrinsic feeling of, like, no one wants to lose a child. Nobody wants to be that person.
No.
So anytime there's a child's death, it is so much more extreme. You know what I mean? Because you have that moment where you're like, fuck, I'd never want that to happen to me. I would never want to bury a child. Somebody dying in a show and they don't show how the parents react is like, it sucks, but it's never as, like, painful as watching what the parents are going through at the same time. We saw that in shows like Anohana as well. You know what I mean? We saw what was happening to the mom and the dad and the brother. You've watched it, right? Yeah. And it kind of just adds to the whole thing. It's just seeing how parents react, because we all have that really, like, paternal, maternal, whatever instinct. Protect your children. And then they just die. It's like, fuck. Damn.
Another one. You see, like, it's technically a horror anime, but you still see the results of people dying. Another?
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. Yeah. It's a psychological thriller. Yeah,
but
that's
you
a really
see,
fun show.
you start to see what it does to all the people around the town, and just the people who live there.
Yeah.
Even the main character's own grandparents, how absolutely devastated and jacked up they are. I mean, it's...
Keyboard's so dirty. Sorry, I'm just like looking.
I'm sitting here going into a moment, and you're how dusty your damn keyboard.
It's not dusty. It's just like crap from my fingers. It's gross. I'm gonna get alcohol. Anyways, I'll fix that. Another. People are dying. Grandparents. Sorry, I'm listening.
And you're sitting there, and you see the grandfather. He literally does nothing, but he wakes up every morning, and he sits in front of the shrine to his daughter, the main character's mother, who died as a result of this stupid curse. And he just sits there every time you see him. He's sitting in front of that shrine, crying and praying more and more.
It's rough, man.
And you're just sitting.
Death has a huge effect on people. Do you think death has to be a part to make a sad anime?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Because, I mean, there are animes where it doesn't even have to be the characters dying. Maybe they're going away, and it might as well be death, but you'll never see them again.
I think I need to get you guys to watch this fucking movie, but A Silent Voice is a perfect example of how you don't have to have death to make something sad, but you can show true suffering and how it affects people. And man, that anime is fucking rough. It's a movie, it's like 2 hours. It is rough. It plays with a lot of things like suicide and self-harm and like bullying and like these really, really heavy subjects. But when you see the application of it, it's really rough to like see what people are going through and shit. And man, I don't know. That is my favorite. Okay, if I could say like a movie, that is my favorite sad movie. But it is an uplifting coming of age like story. There's just some really, really sad elements in the movie. There is a death now that I think about it, but it's not.
It's not even the...
Well, yeah. It's not what you think. You'll find out eventually, but it's definitely not what you would have thought going into it. So, sorry, let's just kind of sidetrack just real quick. What was your show? A show that you would have to name, if you had to name one. I'll give you a moment on this. Now you gotta take time.
That's the thing. I haven't seen that many.
No, I
that I
understand.
would consider.
I don't go out of my way to watch sad stuff because it really fucks with me. Yeah, like when I finished Your Lie in April, I didn't watch another anime for like a solid week, which for me is a long time. I usually like finish one, start the next, keep going. But like the end of Your Lie in April, I just like there was like a void that I just had to wait. I was like, I can't even handle this right now. It's a lot. Go for it.
Violet Evergarden.
That was a sad anime to you?
Well, at the same time, it was happy and jovial, but at the same time, it had like 4 or 5 episodes where you knew it wasn't going to end great.
Yeah. I don't know. That's an interesting choice because, like, I was going to ask if you'd ever watched that actually earlier, but I don't know if
I'd call it more.
It has some moments in it, but as an overall, I wouldn't assume going that the plot is sad. Does that make sense?
I don't know. Would you consider searching for the person that you fell in love with and never really finding them?
She finds him. Did you not? Okay, so the guy on the train that helped save them, that whole deal, that was him. He is alive. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay, to be fair, the anime cut off early, but in the manga, he reveals himself in the manga during that the train scene.
Yeah.
And then they live happily ever after, whatever. But
yes.
She does meet him and they do find each other. He isn't dead.
Yes, I know this. You know this. But anybody that did nothing but just watch the anime, it doesn't reveal that.
It was pretty heavily implied, though, during the train scene.
It was implied, but it never really happened to where anybody that wasn't really paying attention would have caught it.
I feel like you got to pay attention, though.
Yes.
Especially during Violet Evergarden, I feel like there were so many like underlying things that I felt like I had to pay attention to, you know? You couldn't just like, that was a fun episode, moving on. You know, you had to think about them. You know, you had to actually put some thought into it.
I will fully admit it was not a casual anime.
For sure. I actually had to like buckle down and make myself watch it because I'd only heard good things about it, and I wasn't like super hooked after the first few episodes like a lot of people were. It was just a show that I would watch, and it was there. It wasn't anything that it was like super amazing, but like I would want to say about like halfway through, it got like pretty like not exciting. It got interesting, right?
Yeah.
Because at first I was like, oh my god, like she just learned to write. It's not that complicated or type. Like, oh, she's learning to become a person. Okay, cool. Now we're getting into the stuff that I enjoyed, which was after she became like I think the first like arc, I guess it was in one episode. There weren't really arcs in the show, but the first like part that really caught me about Violet Evergarden was when she went to go like write the love letters between the prince and the princess or whatever that were getting married.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, okay, she's actually turning into a person. I don't have to deal with a robot main character, which I was totally cool with. But I thought that's what the show was going to turn into for a while.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to keep up with pictures because we keep switching subjects. There's going to be a lot of anime discussed this episode.
But yeah, this anime alone, whether you consider it sad, happy...
No, it is what it is to you. I'm not trying to put it down.
Salted. Do not get me wrong. There are happy moments in this anime.
Yeah.
But they almost seem to come after something that literally wants to tear your heartstrings out and then shove them back in.
Yeah.
And especially, oh my gosh, I forgot. Was it episode 14 or 15?
I couldn't tell you episodes, man. It's been over a year since I've watched this.
The one where she goes up north to write the letter for the soldiers?
Yeah, when she's like in... Yeah, she like gets on a fucking plane and she has to like... Yeah, like, holy shit. And then he dies? Like, I got you.
Yeah.
Okay, it has sad elements. I get that. I understand.
Or the episode where she's writing the letters for the girl's mother who's dying.
Yeah.
That one,
okay. Okay, thinking back on this show, a lot sadder than I remember it being. Damn, that's right. I forgot about that.
That one tore up my soul.
That one was really rough, but it was a very happy moment followed, where like every year she would get the letters and she realized what had happened, and it was like, oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, but at the same time, dude, I didn't watch an episode for like 5 days afterward.
No, I remember.
I couldn't do it
because like it was like you were watching it and you're like. You understood what was happening as a viewer, but the girl didn't understand. Yeah. And it was really, really rough to, like, watch. Because the girl just wanted to be around her mom and see her mom, and she didn't understand, like, why she had to do what she was doing. And fuck. All right, you got me. We'll throw it in the sad anime category now. All right. That is now on the list. I understand.
But at the same time, just the story of this girl literally gaining her freedom from being something so monotonous, not even human, is a wonderful anime. I love the shit out of this anime. I rewatched this anime with my family.
It's really, really rare for me to rewatch an anime. I can only name like a handful I've rewatched, and usually they're short. And they're just like fun stories. It's usually comedies. Like I've rewatched Konosuba multiple times because I fucking love Konosuba.
Darkness.
Because there's never a scene when I'm watching Konosuba where I'm like, man, this is heavy, or man, I'm not in the mood for this. If I'm watching it, I'm enjoying laughing. You know what I mean? There's never a moment where I'm just like, oh, this episode sucks. I can't think of an episode that I didn't enjoy of that show. Like, it's just too fun.
One that I did rewatch, oh my gosh, I don't even know how old this anime actually is. It was one of the first 5 anime that I ever watched.
What's it called?
Please Teacher.
Please Teacher.
Yeah.
Never heard of it.
Literally, this was one of the very first anime I ever watched. A friend of mine introduced it to me.
Oh man, this looks like some... How old were you when you watched this?
Let's be honest, about 9.
Oh, so you weren't in the height of puberty. Because this looks like some height of puberty type shit.
Yeah, no. Me and a friend of mine introduced it to me. We literally watched it in a day. And I actually enjoyed the shit out of it. Basically, the premise of the whole
hot young teacher almost fucks every student.
No.
That's what it looks like.
Looks like, but isn't. Main character has a disease that makes him fall asleep for 3 years, but he doesn't age. So he ends up being 18 and still like in freshman year of high school.
That's not math.
Yep.
You'd be in 4th grade.
Mm-hmm.
You fall asleep for 3 years? How long are you awake?
No, like he's almost dead asleep 3 years. Just for whatever reason.
So is it like, does it happen multiple times or is it just once it happens?
It's a recurring theme in the story.
How often does it happen?
Only happens 3 times in the whole show that you actually see.
Okay.
But the big one that he keeps talking about is when he started as a freshman in high school. And then he fell asleep for 3 years. Didn't age, didn't grow. All of a sudden, he's 18 years old and freshman.
Exciting. Keep selling me on it. Let's hear it.
And so he moves to a small town where nobody knows him and lives with his aunt and uncle. Basically, new start on life because nothing made sense where he used to be.
Yeah.
Goes out to the lake one night and aliens.
Meets a hot young teacher.
No, aliens.
All right, that show's getting more ridiculous.
The alien that he meets turns out to be his hot teacher. I was right. Yes and no. In order to keep her secret, because now he knows, and nobody's supposed to know, they end up getting into hijinks that result in them getting married. And the rest of the show is them trying to keep the fact that they are married and that she's an alien a secret from the entire class.
All right, I know on the podcast you can't see my face right now, but if I had to describe my face with a series of words, it's, huh? This does not sound like, what? Hold up. Let's my anime list this shit, because I'm curious, like, how popular this was.
I bet you money it's not even a 5.
You think it's lower than a 5? Really?
I think it's lower than a 5.
It is really rare for a show to be lower than a 5. Even bad shows that I've seen, Conception is a 6 something.
There's no way in hell. That show I wouldn't give a 2.
Alright, it's called... Yeah, 7.29.
I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, and it looks like there's a sequel.
There is? Wait,
Maybe
what?
season 2. How many episodes do you remember watching?
13?
Okay,
14?
that was 12. Oh, this is OVA. So never mind. So there'd be 13 episodes, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, let's read this quick synopsis. One day, Kei Kusanagi notices a strange glowing woman by the lake. He discovers that the woman is actually an alien officer from the Galaxy Federation named Mizuho Kazami. And even more shocking, she's also his teacher. Wow! In spite of this setback, he and his teacher gradually get to know each other, and a romance blossoms between them. However, soon enough, the principal of the school finds out about the relationship. The solution? Get married. Together, the newlyweds must keep their marriage a secret, not only from Kei's high school friends, but also Galaxy Federation. Onigai Teacher is a fragile but comedic love story of an alien and her student. This sounds so fucking ridiculous.
It really is.
But you know what we're going to do? We're going to add it to my list.
It's actually really
and
funny.
Plan to watch it.
You will laugh.
This show released in 2002.
Damn. I was stupid young.
Alright, I'm really curious. I want to look at top anime, but I want to go, like, way down the list. Like, we're going to go way down this list, if possible. Hold on. I wonder if it'll let me, like, see, like, the worst anime. I want to look, like, backwards. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, reverse it?
Anime... Yeah, go ahead and talk. Let's talk about something while I try to figure this out.
Well, anyway, this was one of my first anime. Probably one of my first 5. My very first one was Princess Mononoke.
Okay.
So, and the one after that was Spirited Away.
Oh man, that's cool. There's all the different genres that are listed. So you have action. Oh shit, sorry. Action, demons, harem, kids, music, romance, shoujo, space, vampire, yaoi, sports, shoujo ai, samurai, mystery, magic, hentai, drama, adventure, cars, ecchi, historical, yada yada yada. There's a lot. I think that's pretty cool. I didn't realize there was this many. In my mind, it was like comedy, mecha, shonen, which is technically just action, so not even really a genre. So action, mystery, psychological thriller, horror.
Didn't think there was that many.
I already said
horror,
mecha,
though.
didn't I?
Yeah.
Ecchi.
I did not actually think there was that many horror. What the hell?
422 doesn't seem like a lot. Slice of life, I knew that. Ecchi, already mentioned that. Drama,
Musical, romance.
magic. Anyways, all the studios, rankings. Can I I really want to find the least popular of all time.
You're going to try to kill me, aren't you?
I'm just curious. Least, I don't know, lowest rated anime of all time. Please have on my anime list. Top 10 worst anime according to my anime list. Let's go. Mars of Destruction. Looks like it's super old. Same face syndrome. All the characters look the same. Wow, this looks terrible.
Oh, God.
Skelter plus Heaven is an Idea Factory adaptation of a video game. Oh, that sounds terrible already. Hanoka, this looks outdated as fuck. New doesn't necessarily mean good, and the first anime made entirely in Adobe Flash is living proof. Hanoka should get some points for trying something new with animation, but the fact of the matter is that it really accomplishes is reminding us why we stopped using Newgrounds video after 9th grade. But what's it about? Stop if you've heard this one. Humanity is under attack by malevolent creatures that can only be stopped by cutting-edge super weapons. Hanoka's ugliness is familiar in too many ways. Okay, what was its rating? 4.49, 2.09 up here. Holy shit.
God. 2.44.
Pupa.
3.9.
This actually looks good.
Looks... as far as I can tell, the art is amazing.
All right, you go ahead and read this one.
Originally a cult body horror manga, the release of the Pupa anime was delayed for several weeks. It wasn't worth it. The show is a storyless slog through animation that looks like someone cut himself while making a watercolor painting. Plot lines and characters are briefly toyed with and almost immediately abandoned. And though there's nothing wrong with the subject matter, a girl transformed into a flesh-eating beast, forced to eat her immortal brother to survive.
This sounds so bad.
The show wallows in its depravity without going anywhere with it. It's like if someone watched Tokyo Ghoul while drunk and struggled to describe it to her friend the morning while eating her. What the fuck?
I kind of want to watch this. Just out of curiosity.
Out of curiosity.
Let me see how many episodes it is. Maybe we should make Chris this 12 episodes. This needs to be our weekend anime with Chris. This is going to happen. Plan to watch.
This sounds terrible. Why?
Vampire Homes, I feel like we already know.
Yeah, no.
What was it rated? 3.69. All right. Bryson Well Monogatari. So this is like the original attempt at a Monogatari series. Tales of Bryson Well Garze's Wing. It's a 1996 release, but the grubby animation makes it look about 15 years older. Protagonist Chris Chiaki is thrown into a war-torn medieval world with minimal context, and what follows is reminiscent of an anime version of an awful fantasy novel. A story more interested in throwing characters, magic, and place names at the viewer than fleshing them out or explaining them. None of it makes sense, least of all the bizarre right off into the sunset ending. Not satisfied with the Japanese version, the English dub is legendary for all the wrong reasons. So it's terrible. All right. Wonder Momo.
Wait, what?
4.02. It says kick when she kicks the guy.
So, comic book bad.
Bad. I'm not. We don't have to read all these. I don't even want to talk about what this is going to be.
Wait, whoa.
Dark Cat looks like a hentai. We're moving on.
Tentacle hentai.
Soju Senshin Psychic Wars. 3.49. You know what anime is bad when its own characters aren't interested in explaining it. That's all I need to read. Generation of Chaos. 4.28, ranked 71-31. So there's only 7,100 or 7,200 anime on my anime list so far. That's not that much. I've only watched 180 or so of them. My whole life could be this. If I could get into YouTube editing and making YouTube videos and anime videos, I'd be an AniTuber. I'd just spend my every day just watching anime. I really would. But fuck. I'd make my first video about these.
The worst anime ever
you
made.
know it'd pull some clicks. You know what I mean? People be like, what's this shit about? It's like top 10 worst anime of all time.
Dude, what was that, 4 up from this one? The
Which
tentacle
one?
hentai? The
Yeah.
3,
Dark
2 up.
Cat.
Dark Cat. That is, the picture literally just, all it makes me think of is tentacle hentai.
I want to know...
Bad tentacle hentai.
If I can look at...
Sweet.
I want to, I wish there was just a bigger list, because I don't want to click next 50 350 times to get to the end. You know what I mean?
So, within the top 500 is what you really want.
Well, if I click it 350 times, it's 50 anime a page. That would get me to the end. I want to see the worst, you know? I want to see it's really rated the lowest on here. I'm just curious.
Like, lower... Wait, you're trying to look for something that's rated lower than 2.44?
I want to see if there is stuff that low. I'm just curious what's down there, you know what I mean? If I've ever heard of any of it, which I don't think I would have. Even stuff that I think is bad that's like... I've heard of is probably like around 5 or 6 in a rating. You know what I mean? Because at least some people enjoyed it because I heard of it. Yeah. Because I've heard of it through like, oh, it got on TV. That would never air in America. None of those. The fact that there's an English dub for that story one where it says the English dub is worse for all the wrong reasons. Like, I'm surprised that even has an English dub. But to be fair, there are some pretty bad English dubs for some really bad shows. Most popular of all time. Nothing on here surprises me at all. Angel Beats, number 8, gotta say. Whoop, whoop. Toradora is on my list of romance to watch. I got a long list of shit to watch.
Dude, you gotta watch Toradora?
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't watched Clannad yet either, so.
Oh, damn, dude, you're behind on those.
Yeah.
I have 2 sisters. When I watch anime, 90% of the time is freaking romance with them.
No, I understand. Yeah, none of this is surprising me.
Psychopaths.
I've heard of or watched every single one of these shows so far. Not a single one has been like, oh, what's that?
ReZero.
Yeah.
People are having a ReZero argument.
Erased, Cowboy Bebop, Spirited Away, Tokyo Ghoul, Rude A, Attack on Titan Season 1 and 2 are on here. Parasite, Hiroaka, second season, first season, Monogatari, Fate Zero, Seven Deadly Sins. These are the most popular, not the highest rated of all time. Neon Genesis Evangelion, which I've actually watched. I don't know why I don't have that on my list. Thank you for the free episodes. Completed. I'll give it a good. It's just too dated. I love some shows. Like, there's some good dated shows, but that's not one of them. It did not age well. If you want to watch that and you haven't yet, I've actually finished another 2, actually. If you want to watch Neon Genesis Evangelion and you haven't, watch this awesome new show out called... Do you know what it is?
No.
Darling in the Franxx. It's the
dear God.
exact same storyline.
Well, essentially, yes.
Okay, so I think the Mars of Destruction is actually the lowest rated one of all time.
Of all time?
Yeah.
2.44. Good God.
Oh, shit. This is the page. Okay. We found it. All right. Let's... Oh, there's some more. Hold on.
Oh, dear God. Wait, there's more.
Oh, man.
Oh, sweet God.
Oh, we can add 50 onto the end here. So I'm curious how many more there are. Does it say how many total shows are on here? So that'd probably make it easier. See, we're only at 6.10. Oh my God, that list is outdated. So being ranked 7134 at the time, look, these are 6s. And this is 7,000. Let's do like 10,000 and see what happens. Oh my God, we're not even there. There's so much anime on the internet. Oh, look, we're only at 3.41.
And we're at 10,000?
All right, let's try 12,000. It keeps going.
Wait,
these numbers got weird.
Yeah, these numbers got weird again.
I'm curious, hold on. Maybe I went too far. I feel like I went too far.
You went a little bit too far.
It's all right. Point stands way too much on here.
What the hell is
this? But this is
one?
the Destruction of Mars thing.
Oh.
Hold on. Details. I think this is the...
2.32. It's been updated since that last post.
It went down.
It's
ranked 10,076th in the world. But it's in the top 2,000 of popularity. I think people have watched this as a joke.
Yeah.
You know? They're like, you know what we should watch today? The worst show ever. We're adding this. We're going to have to suffer through it. You know that, right? I'm going to make it happen.
Oh, dear God.
We're going to hang out with Chris this week, and I'm going to make it happen. Either early Saturday before we start stream where we can talk about this, or Sunday. It's going to happen, because this is going to be great.
You're such a dick.
It's going to be fucking great. What were some other ones on here? Hold on. Let's get some more on here. We're watching Pupa. We're watching The Destruction of Mars. This I don't even want to touch. Like, this looks so bad that I have no desire. Oh, this is a 1.91.
Oh, darn!
All right, it's on the list. I've decided to suffer through. It's only one episode, and that makes you feel any better. Oh, I did not mean to put completed.
How long is that episode?
It's an OVA, so it can be a normal episode length, or it can be a short movie.
Duration, 19 minutes.
There you
Okay,
go.
I think I can suffer through that. I think I can suffer through 19.
Are you positive?
Not a fucking clue.
It's all right. What we can do is save the next Bunny Girl Senpai episode, and then watch that after to, like, scrub our minds. Yeah. That doesn't look bad enough to watch this one. It just looks like it's going to be bad CGI.
Yeah.
You know? Vampire Homes, I have no desire. This one I kind of want to watch the English dub.
Dear God.
The Tales of Beist and Well. Hey, I think it went up. Hold on. It was a 3.84 at the time of this.
I think
now it's a 4.19. It's only 3 episodes, 30 minutes an episode. Easy. We're going to do bad anime Sundays or something, and me and you're going to record episodes. This is what's going to happen from now on.
Oh, dear God.
We're going to watch one bad anime a week and just do a whole episode. And it can only be like an hour long, you know, and just sit around and talk about an episode or a show for an hour. We're not watching this for no desire. This doesn't look interesting enough. All right. Man.
You already have 5, possibly 7 hours of material for us to watch.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So you can do all anime and then search by list. So Skelter in Heaven is the worst. The one that's one episode of 19 minutes. The worst at a 1.91. All right, I'm saving this page. Some of these are hentai. We're obviously not going to watch hentai together. I have no desire. Sorry, buddy. I don't know if that was on your hopes and dreams, but I'm good. Worst anime of all time. All right. This is going to be fun. This is going to be fun.
This man's going to kill me.
It's going to be fun. Don't lie to yourself. You know this is going to be hilarious. I think this will be a fun time for us, honestly.
If we weren't so broke right now, dude, I'd tell you to buy the beer.
I have 3 or 4 Bud Lights in my fridge. That's it. But yeah, we're broke.
So broke.
It's okay.
Miserably broke.
Moving forward with our lives.
So what's next? The last one was mine.
The last one was yours. What were we talking about just in general? Just anime or...
I was just going down the line, basically. That was one of my first. What was one of yours?
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yu Yu Hakusho?
Yu Yu Hakusho and Dragon Ball. Everyone watched Sailor Moon.
Everybody watched
Yeah.
it. It aired on Cartoon Network for the longest ass time.
Yeah. Everybody watched it, like I said. You, sir, can keep chatting. I'm looking for something. I'm going to make notes for when I do the podcast. Because what I do when I do the podcast, I'm going to slide past, put my butt on your legs. Sorry. I'm sure you liked it anyway. When I make the podcast and I have to put it online and I upload it and stuff, when I incorporate the names of the... Like, have you gone to Spotify and listened to them yet or seen them?
I haven't had the chance yet, no.
Okay, well, when you go on Spotify, what I do is, like, general title of the show. So, like, last week I was like, influential anime of 2018. Or since 2010. The one before that, you know, was ours when we were talking about fall 2018 anime.
Yeah.
And then the one before that was the big three.
Yeah.
And what I do is I incorporate the names of all the anime that were mentioned. Or discussed, at least at links. So
yeah.
I just want to make notes because we're talking about a lot of shit.
Dude, we've already covered, what, 13 different ones?
Yeah, but we're going to talk about Please Teacher. We're going to talk about, or at least in the title, Please Teacher, Your Lie in April.
Oh, yeah, we touched on Your Lie in April. We touched on Angel Beats already. We've touched on...
We didn't talk about Angel Beats. You want to talk about Angel Beats? Did it make you cry?
Dear God, yes, it made me cry, but it also made me laugh my ass off. Episode 1.
The show was a good mix of, like, everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it had so much popularity, is because it was, like, a very good intro anime. You know? And it was sad, it was funny, it was action, it was kind of harem-y. It kind of had, like, everything.
It got really dark for 2 episodes.
Yeah.
Actually, it got really, really dark for about 3. But... Remember when they were dealing with the, what's his freaking name? Short, green eye, Hayato.
Dude, I watched that show at least 7 years ago.
Oh,
I will not remember anything. Like,
Oh,
I
okay.
remember the show, but I couldn't tell you names outside of Angel. You know, like, outside of that, couldn't tell you.
You mean Kaide? Kanade, my bad.
Angel, that's
Yeah.
her name. No, just Angel.
But no, Hayato, the dude who could hypnotize people,
Yeah.
his backstory was fucked.
Everyone kind of had fucked backstories, to be fair.
True, but I mean, good God Almighty. Only one that I thought of that was actually worse was Euryphes.
Which one was that?
One where all of her siblings were killed by armed robbers.
Yeah. That show was fucked, bro.
Uh-huh.
And I think maybe going back to the initial point, like shows that you have to watch, I think you should put that on the list.
Oh, definitely.
I understand why no one, or not everyone thinks it's sad, or why not everyone, you know...
Thinks it's funny or even a great show.
But I think it's one of those, like, it's a stepping stone. It's one of those things
Yeah.
that I think you have to watch.
It's at least one of the top 10 steps I'd take before jumping straight in the deep end.
Yeah.
Find out if you ever actually want to jump in the deep end.
Oh, man, I'm so ready for this bad anime thing.
You're gonna kill me with this
Oh,
shit.
I'm so ready for it. It's going to be so much fun. Because I'll do it with you. At least you're not suffering alone, okay?
Okay, that'll be so much better than this.
Because we can
fucking-
both just laugh at it the whole time. Or just suffer through it. Oh, man. No, I really am going to have a lot of fun doing that. I think that's going to be a cool little thing. Even if we don't make a specific episode for it, which I think we should, might as well, you know what I mean? It can be like an hour long, just, hey, we'd watched this, let's talk about it. What made it bad? Yada, yada, yada.
A lot of things.
And then we can do our weekly catch-up, which we're about to do. You know, we're going to talk about this week, fall 2018.
You know what made Conception such a bad anime right off the bat? Episode 1. It wasn't any of the stuff I've even mentioned yet. It was the fact that they had an awesome fight scene in the first episode. And then they threw that shit right out the window. Fuck it. That's not what we're going to make this anime about. Not at all.
That's what happens, man. So, haven't watched it. No desire. You can bitch about it all you want. Let's
I
talk
won't bitch
about.
about it until the end
Let's
of
talk
time.
about this week in anime. Our 3 shows that we watched together collectively.
Okay.
You watch some that I don't watch. I watch some you don't watch.
Yeah.
Whatever. We're gonna talk about Goblin Slayer,
Bunny
Beard
Girl
Cutter.
Senpai.
Oh, I was gonna name all of his names: Goblin Slayer, Orc Bulg, and
Beard
Cutter. Goblin Slayer. Okay, we got Goblin Slayer, Bunny Girl Senpai.
Right.
That's the greatest. I love it. It's still my favorite show of the season. I fucking love it. And
I got reincarnated as
that's
a
time I got
slime.
reincarnated as a slime. Yeah, I actually just watched that episode before the podcast because he came over and he's like, "You watched the episode yet?" And I was like, "Oh, I thought they dropped on Sundays. Didn't know it was today." And I just hadn't watched it yet. You know, I'd been at work all day. I came home, did my thing, and here we are. So, where do you want to start? Which one? Which one do you want to talk about? Which one was the least exciting? Let's do the least exciting one first.
For this week, oh shit.
Probably slime.
It would have to be slime because I mean it had the least happen this week.
You learned stuff, but it wasn't an action-packed, crazy episode. There was some humor. There was some cool stuff. You know, he named all the ogres. That's cool. Don't remember any of their names except Shion or something like that.
Yeah,
and
the cute ogre priestess.
No, Shion's the big boob.
Oh, the giant boobed.
Yeah. And then I forgot the name of the ogre priestess. Whatever. Point stands, right? He named all of them. He
Shiro
passed out.
Or something like that.
Something like that. He passed out. You know, they absorbed a lot of magic. Lizard men are trying to come ask for some help because they're about to get fucked up by 200,000 orcs. Jesus. That being said, let's discuss our theories, I guess, real quick of the video or the episode. I kind of mentioned this earlier. I think that the two people who named these things are different. I think the guy who picked up the orc at the end of the last episode,
and the guy who initially
attacked the ogre village.
No, not him.
I think that's the same guy. No. So I think the guy who's leading the orc attacks is different than the guy who named that orc and the guy who's been naming the lizard men and the other people.
And the goblin.
Yeah. I think that guy showed up and was going to name one as like protection for the village because, again, you kind of mentioned this. I think they're from different demon lord factions, or one of them just is a demon lord or something.
Or just doesn't give a shit and is going around doing as he pleases.
Yeah. So I think they're two different people because when we saw the scene of the orcs attacking the ogre village, it was a weird little short person with a mask that was super colorful. And when we saw the other guy, he had like a plague doctor kind of mask on.
It was a much simpler mask.
Yeah. So I'm really curious to see, but that's my theory of what's going on. I think that's the most plausible. I don't think it's going to be the same person. I think one of them is going to end up allying with Rimuru down the road. Yeah. And I think it's the one who has been going around just naming people randomly.
Yeah. Here's one that goes back a little bit. If anybody's been following the show, here's a spoiler. The chick that Rimuru gets his body from, his human form, well, as far as we know as of current in the story, she is dead. But in the intro, it shows him walking around on his adventures with her there. So what do you think that is? Him creating a body double for her and bringing her back temporarily? Or do you think they find a way to bring her back?
I think neither.
You don't think either?
I think it's just the intro. I think it's just part of the I think it's just part of the OST or the OA because OST OP
opening scene.
Yeah. I think it's just a part of it to introduce characters, get you familiar with maybe some of their abilities, what they look like, some of their actions. But I think she's gone and out of the show. I think she's not going to come back. I think you're going to have flashbacks, or maybe like she'll talk to him randomly from inside of him or something. We're going to get some random scenes. But I think she's dead. I don't think she's going to come back because the last we saw her in person, in character,
she
aged forever. Rimuru ate her, and then she saw her mom as a child again. So I think she's dead. Like, I don't think she's coming back.
Yeah. And that might very well be the case. I just wanted to see what you thought about it.
No, you're good. That's why we're having the discussion.
Because I was thinking, like, if they've thought to bring her back, it'd have to be in some really interesting way. Cause technically, she was a summon to begin with. Yeah. She did not reincarnate.
So do you think there's a possibility she went back to the real world?
Yeah, but at the same time, she was pulled from, like, a couple...
World War II?
Yeah, like 100 years before, almost.
Yeah. World War II wasn't that long ago, but...
It's quickly approaching that almost 100-year mark, dude. It's already almost been 70 years.
That's really not that long, though, in the grand scheme of things. All I'm saying.
But think about it. What is different about Japan in the 70-year span between World War II and now?
A lot.
Exactly.
No, I'm not saying there's not. But you do have that scene where Rimuru, the main character, shows her everything about modern-day Japan. True. So she may be able to acclimate if she goes back.
She may.
But we know Rimuru will never go back because he's dead.
He died. He fully has become a part of this new world.
Rest in peace. As he throws his fucking...
He destroys his browser history by killing his computer.
I love it, dude. I love it. That was like a fun homage to the joke, you know what I mean? I love it. It was great.
No, my favorite part is in the first episode when, out of all the things he could ask for on his deathbed, dying in the street, bleeding out, the last thing he asks his trainee, the person he has brought up in the business world, please destroy my computer.
He says, destroy my hard drive. That was his line. But it's still hilarious. I just fucking love it. The show's done humor well. Unfortunately, the story's kind of getting a little, we'll see what happens. But it's still a fun show. I'm going to watch it every week because I laugh every episode. There's not been an episode where I'm not like, ha 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 moment, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we got the badass old guy, Samurai Ohgrr, beating on Gopta and all the younglings.
They haphazardly said they want to learn swordsmanship.
Next thing you know, they're getting fucking destroyed. I love it.
Grandpa's going to teach you how to use a hammer. With what, my face? Yes.
Firefox Nation, welcome to the stream. How you doing today? We'll answer any questions you might have, but this is a podcast / YouTube video, so most of what we're going to talk about is what we come up with organically. But if you have questions, spark some interest, you're more than welcome. Overall, we were talking earlier about sad anime, influential anime, and then horrible anime. We're going to start this little segment every week, or we're going to do an episode every week where we just talk about bad anime. And we already have 7 lined up, so I'm really excited for it. He's not excited for it, but I am. There's some really bad ones on there.
I'm excited for the alcohol that he will be buying me to sit through this shit.
I got you. I'll go steal some Jack Daniels from my old man's house. He's got a lot of Jack. That's all he drinks. Anyways, that being said, if you have questions, feel free to ask them. But for the most part, we're going to kind of keep chat interaction down because this is a podcast. This is the early days of it, so to get a little more professional, we'll find a better way to incorporate it as it goes. It's only episode 4. Chika the Coffin Princess. I am not familiar with it. Have you ever heard of that? Let's look it up. Let's see how bad it is. In the meanwhile, let's keep discussing what we're discussing. Slime, we're kind of already talked about this week's episode. So, by the way, if you're just joining the stream, we talk about... When it's just me and him, we'll talk about this week in anime because we're both keeping up with fall 2018 anime.
Yeah.
I think our buddy's only watching Goblin Slayer.
That's about the only one he said he's keeping up with.
Yeah, I think that's the only one he's watching. So we like to kind of discuss these things and just kind of catch up, so be prepared for spoilers.
Huh.
Chika the Coffin Princess. Let's see it on my anime list.
I think I've heard this one.
7.40, not too bad.
Yeah, I've definitely heard of this one before.
It is 12 episodes. It does it does have a sequel. Hold on. And when did this air? 2014. This was relatively new. I think I've heard of this, but I've definitely never watched it.
Yeah, no. Not that I don't
I'll
necessarily
throw
have
this.
an interest.
Let's see. Genres. Studio Bones released it, so it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
Action, adventure, comedy, romance, and fantasy. I'll add this to my list. I'll watch this eventually. Don't expect it next week. I have at least 100 shows to watch right now, so we'll get to it.
Top of the fact, the 7 we just promised to watch.
Yeah. That being said, let's move to the least next interesting one. And we may have differing opinions on this one, but I think it's Goblin Slayer.
Yes and no.
Because not a whole lot happened this episode in Goblin Slayer.
There was a fight scene?
Yeah, but it was a pretty, I don't want to say anticlimactic.
I was severely disappointed because... I don't know. The anime did not give the novella's description of the scene the same amount of justice, I think. Because, the novella spent 2.5, it was 2 chapters on this one scene.
Yeah.
This
But in the
fight scene.
It was 30 seconds of an actual fight, and then they cave in the ceiling.
And
that was
everything. And don't get me wrong. While you were reading the novella, you figured out probably pretty quickly what exactly they were planning to do.
Yeah.
It's just there was a whole lot.
There was build up to it.
Yeah, there was more build up.
Yeah.
And in the novella, they made it seem like they weren't going to get it. They made it seem like they were going to fail right at the finish line.
Yeah.
And they barely pulled their asses out of the fire. In the anime, it made it seem almost like they did it with ease. It just wasn't. It didn't have the same weight.
Yeah.
The scene did not have the same weight that it did in the novellas.
And then post-fight, they end up that
the sword priestess.
Yeah, the sword priestess, sword maiden. She knew the whole time, but she couldn't stop them because she's scared of goblins. Okay, understandable.
Terrified of goblins.
But that was it. Like that, I feel like that's all that happened in that episode. It was an anticlimactic fight scene.
Yeah.
And then that was really it. You find out that she knew.
Yeah, you find out that sword priestess knew, or sword maiden knew about the goblins being there, and that she just didn't. She couldn't do anything about it because goblin PTSD is the best way I'd describe it.
I think it's accurate. PTSD.
Yeah.
Who are you talking about? Oh, from fucking the trap from ReZero. Guy in chat. All right, my buddy Slobberknockers is in chat. Great name. Talking about boobies. Who doesn't love boobies? He is talking about ReZero. He's been talking about it and how Ferris is a trap. Ferris is if you haven't watched ReZero, there's like this cat person who looks like a chick, turns out to be a dude, but dresses like a chick on purpose. And he's saying that she's cute, a.k.a. he's a trap. So,
Super
you know,
trap.
there's a lot of traps in anime. Assassination Classroom.
Oh, dear God.
Main character, Nagisa. I loved that show. Have you watched both seasons? That's a great one. I would love to talk about that.
Oh, that would end sad as fuck, too.
Yeah.
God.
It wasn't sad. Because you get that last scene of Nagisa as a teacher being a complete badass, and you're like, alright, Nagisa, I see you. Okay. I'm not a fan of traps. I've never been like, that's just not even fair when I see a trap. I can't even think of one in anime that I've been like, I guess, okay, no, I take that back. Nisekoi. I've watched Nisekoi. Have you watched Nisekoi?
Yes, I have.
So, the assassin boy that comes in turns out to be a chick. That's a funny scene. I respect that, but that's like a reverse trap.
Yeah, that's a reverse trap.
Yeah.
Everybody thought that it was a he.
Asf Tofo from Fate. I'm not familiar with who that is.
Astolfo? Oh, shit, this one, yeah.
Oh! Okay, I know what you're talking about.
Fate Apocrypha.
Yeah, there's too many Fate series. I know what you're talking about.
Oh, dear God. This one got a couple of people.
I feel like this one got a lot of people.
This one was funny as hell.
And then isn't Arthur's child who ends up getting summoned as a saber actually a boy but looks like a girl because she wants to be a girl or whatever? Yeah.
Arthur turns out to be Arthuria.
Yeah.
And shit.
Arthur's daughter turns out to be a boy who looks like a girl. Yeah, another trap. Isn't that what that is?
No, sweet Christmas. That was the funniest shit ever, though. Aren't you supposed to be a dude? And,
yeah.
Oh, gosh. What was her name? Oh, son of a bitch. Come on.
Person in chat is saying that it is a girl. I thought it was like a reverse thing. I thought the child was looked like a girl, was supposed to be a guy. Whatever. There's 9 different Arthurs in that show, okay?
Oh, shit.
Like, there's 9 different sabers. They all look the exact fucking same, but they're actually different, and it's whatever.
Oh.
Anyways, let's finish up this week in anime real quick. We got one last show. I fucking love the show, man. Bunny Girl Senpai, let's talk about it. What's in the cupboard? All right.
The question that's on everybody's mind.
All right, so here is my guess. All right. Here's my guess. Is that the cupboard, she was fucking with him because she knew that he would open it if she said that, but she didn't want to admit something. So she was like, don't look in it no matter what you do, because she knows he's going to look in it. They know each other pretty well. Mai and Sakata know each other very well, so you knew it was going to happen. He's opening it. I think it's going to be a collection of all the memorabilia of the younger sister. That's what I think is going to happen.
I'd actually agree with you on that one.
I think that is the most logical. I think that is the most logical way to do it.
Oh, dear God.
Oh, here's another trap. Gasper. I remember this. Okay. I had to look it up because I forgot. Actually, dude. They make look like a chick. I don't know. Yeah, this one was weird. I remember this.
He enjoys wearing the girls' uniform for their school.
Yeah, I remember that.
It makes him feel safe.
Anyways. Yeah, so that's my assumption of what's in the cupboard. Do you have any other takeaways from the episode? Anything else to mention?
Well, don't get me wrong. I understand the rivalry between siblings. I just didn't expect their parents to be that fucked up. literally use the girls as freaking competition pieces.
I could see it, though. I've seen parents do that.
I've seen it happen, but I wasn't expecting it.
I think it's a cool thing. And I think... I'm curious to see what it's going to take for them to switch back, because it's always something interesting.
Yeah.
You know? It's not the most immediate thing right away. You know, you're not going to think about it and be like, oh, yeah, that's what they're going to do. I'm curious if they're going to like have to have their parents come to some resolution, or if they're going to have to... Like, I don't know. I'm just curious to see what's actually going to happen.
Well, think about all the different situations that the stupid adolescent syndrome has played a part. It's usually a problem that the persons or person involved has to solve themselves. Yeah. They have to come to the resolution.
Yeah.
And this is a problem directly between Mai and her younger sister. They have to resolve this between each other, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Because one has always wanted to be the other, and I'm thinking in a relative term, the other has always wanted to be what the other one was.
Yeah. I can see that.
Because I think they're stuck in this whole grass is greener on the other side shtick.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking that's caused this
that's what I'm
problem.
saying. I think what's going to be in there is a collection of their stuff and like wishing they could be them, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen. I don't know. I do think this episode continues to reinforce that I think Futaba's best girl. Just saying. Yo, that scene when he like shows up in her lab, she like, I don't know, she's the girl of the show, man. Mai's cool, don't get me wrong. I would love a girlfriend like Mai, but Futaba's best girl. But it's okay. I don't want him the main character or her and the main character to get together.
You turning into one of those Rem is best girl people?
Rem is best girl, though, out of that show. Out of ReZero, there's no contestant.
Don't get me wrong. I agree with you, but at the same
Ram's
time...
annoying.
Oh, fuck yes.
And who else do you have? Amelia or whatever her name is? Fuck that bitch. She literally doesn't do anything the whole show. And then you have Rem with a 20-minute long speech about how she loves him and they can run away together. And he tells her no. Ugh.
And then watches her die brutally and fucked
Multiple times. God, dude. That show...
kind of fucked up. No. Massively fucked up ways.
Subaru's fucked up. No, we're not talking about traps. They want us to pick Ferris, and I refuse. That is not a girl. That is a guy. All right, they don't claim to be a girl, so I can call them a guy. Okay. That also being said, maybe I'll make an argument for the captain lady. You know, like because there's like the 3 different warring people trying to become, or the 4.
Oh, the dragon from Monster Musume.
Yeah, are we on traps? Are we just gonna? We're sideballing. Are we just done with this? Here. No more. We're on traps. Okay, let's go.
Let's solve this real quick so we can move on with our
traps are gay. It's the end of
it, dude.
Reverse traps, but traps are gay. Well, because reverse traps look like guys with their girls, you know. But Ruby Rose. Have you seen Ruby Rose?
Yeah.
Hot as fuck. When she dresses like a dude. Have you seen her dress like a dude?
No.
She's supposed to be gender fluid, like she's very gender fluid looking.
Yeah.
She does a music video where she like wraps down her breasts and tries to look like a dude, and she looks good as a dude. But that doesn't make... I don't know. Do a whole episode on traps? I don't know enough traps to do a whole episode. I can talk for like 5 minutes. They're gay. I don't like them. And the only traps I can immediately think of are like Nagisa from Assassination Classroom.
Yeah.
If you count reverse traps, there's a ton. You know what I mean? We just mentioned a couple. You have...
oh, God.
Astolfo from Fate.
Yeah.
You have Ferris.
Ferris from ReZero.
Yep, and then we have the one that we just looked at from DxD. What was her name? Gasper. Another trap.
Super dude.
And I can't think of any others that like mainstream that I'm like, oh yeah, that's a trap. Because any reverse, like I know so many more reverse traps. You have Nisekoi.
Oh shit, yeah.
Technically, you have Arthur from Fate because they thought it was gonna be a guy, turns out to be a girl.
And his daughter/son. Whatever the fuck his name.
It's a daughter. It is a girl.
I know. But
so in chat they explained.
Goddamn name.
We can look it up. Let's look it up.
The Saber from Apocrypha.
Saber's daughter, Fate. We'll find it. Saber.
Mordred. Thank you.
There you go.
Sweet Christmas.
It is the child of 2 women, though. That I think was the thing. Yeah, I don't know. Don't talk to me.
Yeah. I thought her armor, Mordred's armor, was fucking awesome looking.
Yeah, the red saber looks sick.
Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed the shit out of the fact that Siegfried was the Saber of Black. Do you know the story of Siegfried?
No.
Another time.
I'm familiar with the name, but I'm not like... The only Siegfried I think of is like Soul Calibur.
No. Siegfried, original Norse legend. Look it up sometime. It's awesome, actually. His story is awesome. I can't tell you any more without completely ruining the story. Read it for yourself.
I'll get around to it, sir. Man.
Or just watch the show. They give you a synopsis on it, basically.
All right, I have a fun subject for next time. Just a general overarching subject, and this is going to be with Chris. What anime world would you live in and why? And we'll have a whole discussion.
God.
Because there are so many. I think I'd have to pick one, just as like a little teaser. I'd have to pick one where everyone has some sort of power. Mm-hmm. Like, even My Hero's a stretch, because not everyone technically has a quirk, and most of them are useless.
Yeah.
But I'd have to find one where everyone can gain powers in some way. Pokemon!
Slap yourself. No!
Come on, you don't want to... Okay, whatever. Go for it.
Log Horizon. Everyone has a power. Even the people who live there naturally have powers. And, as been proved by the main character, can gain the same strength.
I'll take what you said, and I'll raise it up one, because it's even better. And it was just mentioned in chat. And it's my favorite show of all time. Konosuba, bitch. Ugh. You even get stats. And you get an adventurer card that tells you your ranks and stuff. You're not like, digital interface. You get to like live the adventurer life. And we get to spend 4 episodes mining and laughing about it.
You mean working absolutely garbage jobs?
I fucking love that. I love how he's like, I'm in this other world and all I've been doing is working. This is horrible. And then they get fucked up by slimes.
Merlin gave Saber a dick.
That's how Mordred was born.
I'm not even gonna...
Not even gonna entertain it?
No, that is a vision in my head I did not need. Thank you so much.
That is true. I forgot about that. Konosuba does have succubi as well.
Oh, dear
I win,
God.
you lose, get out of my face. I'm going to make my argument. Write your argument. Be ready next week. Saturday, 3 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Kind of plugging our time here. Live, twitch.tv/OhgrRYT. OHGRRYT. Anyways.
When are we ever on time?
I'm always here because I live here.
You live here!
But that isn't an argument, because you've known our buddy Chris, the third guy of our show. We used to have D&D nights at his place, and he was late to his own house so many nights, man. It was embarrassing.
We'd have this set out 5 days in advance. He'd still be 40 minutes late, and then walk out because he said he didn't get food.
It's pretty rough.
Aside from all of that, where were we?
We're talking about like a little teaser for next week, picking a world you had to live in. Think about it. There's a couple of good options out there. There really are.
Yeah, but there's also some that you think are awesome, and then when you really get down to the nitty-gritty of the world, are terrible places to live.
Oh, I don't disagree. Like Dragon Ball, could you imagine living there? Your insurance costs would be ridiculous.
Fuck that.
All right, Full Metal Alchemist. Would you live in the FMA world?
Oh, hell no.
Why not?
You have...
The sins are gone by the end of the show.
By the end of the show.
And
mind you...
Like, and Father's gone. So like, what's left? Everybody can learn alchemy and everybody can do alchemy.
Yes. But most people suck at alchemy. Think about it. Most people never get to the
I'm not saying they're
point.
great, but you could put in the time and get good. That's all I'm saying.
True.
Okay? We're just discussing the possibilities of these worlds. Hunter x Hunter. Everybody can learn Nen, to be fair. And everybody can make their own unique Nen. That could be cool.
Dude, the terrifying fucking creatures, though.
True.
I mean, good God almighty.
Code Geass, I would not want to live there. Not a good enough world.
Not in hell.
Maiden Abyss, you haven't watched it yet? I would not live there because that place is fucking terrifying.
All
right, Firefox, you fucking whore for anime. This person in chat, the person
Monster Musume.
Yeah, the person's been throwing out all the traps and shit. They said they want to live in the Monster Musume world, which I understand because they're just trying to fuck some spiders and some mermaids. I get it. You know, you keep doing you, friend. I'm not going to judge you for it.
Well, actually, from as far as I can tell, there's not there's not too much wrong with the world. True,
There's nothing. It's just that there are monster women. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it, and that's all they want, and I understand that.
Although there is the downside that there's bound to be one or two monster dudes that are not nearly as nice as all the females.
Yeah, but chicks are that's for the people who like the dicks. So whatever. Cowboy Bebop would be a terrifying world. Space cowboys and shit. Space pirates. Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
But it'd be cool.
Oh, cool.
But it'd be terrifying. JoJo would not want to live there either.
Gintama. Oh dear God.
Gintama's very over the top. There's so much to even talk about that show. You have fucking spoof episodes every other day. Gurren Lagann. Nope.
Oh,
hell no. My Hero, I think, would be a fun one, like I said earlier, but you do have the realistic issue of villains all the time.
But at the same time, 90% of the villains are very... Let's be honest, they're sort of garbage.
Because heroes are around, but what if there's no hero? You're going to get fucked up. Think about One Punch Man, all right?
Oh, dear God. That is a terrifying
world. Terrifying.
Like, don't get me wrong. True, there's tons of guys running around that are like, Saitama, what is there, 14 of them? But that's to cover the whole globe.
Yeah, terrifying. and most of those guys aren't actually as strong as Saitama.
No.
Only the top 5 can even get near him in power.
Yeah.
Everyone else is just kind of a fucking chump.
I mean... What is... The little girl is probably the closest that we've seen in the anime to...
Yeah, you haven't seen the number 1 character in the anime, that's right.
No, I have not.
Death Note, that's not really a unique world, it's just a guy with power.
Yeah, no.
Somebody in chat said Spice and Wolf would be a simple world. It would be. It's just an older time, that's all it is, with some level of, monster girls. They keep bringing up monster girls. What a surprise. I wonder what you're into, you freak! And then somebody else had said the world of Captain Harlock. Are you familiar with that? I've heard of it. I've never watched it, so I'm not familiar with it.
I'm not familiar with the old. I've only seen the newer 3D animated movie. I didn't think it was that great. I thought the world was terrifying.
Ooh.
Which one? No Game, No Life?
Yeah, that would be fun.
Oh, don't get me wrong. That would be the most awesome world ever, except I suck at cheating.
Think about it. Well, you don't have to cheat.
How do they always win?
But they're fighting the strongest possible people. I'm just trying to make a living, You can just beat somebody in a card. And I'm sure living in that world, you'd learn how to cheat.
Oh, yeah.
But what I was saying, no taxes, no debt, do whatever the fuck, and games literally dictate your life.
Yeah.
And you can marry someone by winning a game. Let's go. Best world decided. You know what world I would live in? Yuck. Attack on Titan. Nope. Fuck that. Fairy Tail would be a cool world. It would not be practical, that is correct, but it would be a fun world, but pretty much everyone has a power, right? 90% of the people.
Everybody is born with magic. What is it? There's less than a percentage of a percentage.
I really don't remember.
People that don't.
I really don't remember the basis, but the way they portrayed is pretty much everyone can do magic.
Yeah,
so I think that'd be really fun.
Wasn't there one character we've been introduced to that doesn't have magic, but they're still pretty stupidly overpowered?
Who?
I forgot who.
What are you talking about?
I can't remember. There was a character we were introduced to in Fairy Tail that didn't have magic, but they were still pretty powerful in their own respect.
Like physically?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
They didn't have magic. All they had going for them was just raw strength. But
yeah, and you got dragons and shit and magical creatures. That'd be a really fun world, honestly.
Oh, yeah.
Things like Acnologia don't come around that often, you know what I mean?
Once every couple hundred years.
Yeah. You good there? Man, you got so much energy.
I do. I did not do shit today.
You need to go for a run.
I do.
I'm just saying, my man's had nervous energy. He's been rocking all day, and now he's he can't stop rubbing his leg and shit. Breathe. It's gonna be okay. I just want to put some of these thoughts in your head. We'll text Chris about this later. Is there anything else popping out on this list? You ever watch Mob Psycho 100?
Yes, I did.
That'd be a crazy world to live in. Hard pass on that one. One Piece.
Don't get me wrong, there are definite upsides to living in that world, but there's a shit ton of downsides. Like the fact that it's literally being constantly monitored and ruled over by a tyrannical world government.
And pirates. Who have crazy powers.
But are usually the nicest of the people in the fucking world.
To be fair, though, that's just how it's portrayed. The average citizen probably enjoys the Marines.
The average citizen probably hates the Marines. How many towns have they been to where the Marines are imposing massive taxes and literally making the townspeople's lives a living fucking hell?
Oh, all I'm saying is I think that could be a fun world. I don't know.
It'd be fun.
You'd have to be a pirate for it to be fun.
You'd have to be at least something. You'd have to be skilled in something for it to be
Fuck
fun.
no to Hellsing Ultimate.
Oh, dear God, no.
All right, I think it's good enough. I think we went through enough of these. We have a couple of good ideas.
Yeah.
Anything else you just kind of want to chat about before we close it out today? We don't have to do a long one. We're just kind of hanging out, chatting for a bit. Anything?
Necopara would be nice.
Not familiar with it. I'm sure it's a cat girl type thing.
It is.
More monster girls. This person in chat wants their monster girl. I'm sorry. It will happen for you someday, I'm sure. And
if it does,
excuse me, PG-13 viewers, there are butt plugs for females with tails attached. Okay, there you go. Moving forward with our lives. I'm just saying, they make shit for everyone out there. I'm sure you can find something good enough. Did we cover Black Clover as a world or as just a general concept?
Black Clover?
I personally have nothing to say. I dropped the show. I've heard it gets better. I've watched videos saying it gets better, but I have no desire to pick it back up because it just don't.
And that pretty much sums it up.
Like, Jesus. As a world, though, I think it'd be pretty cool. The concept, right? Because pretty much anyone can gain access, right? Mm-hmm. Pretty much everyone's born with some level of magic, and you can go and you can go get your grimoire. Actually, everyone does get a grimoire, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that how it is?
Asta's pretty much the only person so far that anybody even knows of that hasn't had any magic to begin with.
Yeah, because he cancels magic because he's a demon.
Well, that's the assumption of pretty much every fan theory I've heard so far.
That's just kind of the way they explained it early on.
Yeah.
So, as a world, though, I think it'd be pretty cool. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
That's not our whole subject for the day, though, for the person in chat. It was just we're just kind of previewing next week. We're going to have a full-on discussion. I'm going to have them pick one. I'm going to pick one. And we're going to just sit down and make our case and our statement for why which world would be the best. High School DxD would not be a good world because it's a very select few who get involved in that world.
Well,
but as a person, no.
Think of it. The majority of people in that world don't know what the fuck's going on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's such a small percentage of the world involved in the fun side of it, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be a good choice for
it's not like you got
world.
born straight in as a demon.
You could have, but...
Or an angel.
Yeah.
Or a fallen angel.
Or whatever.
There are so many goddamn things in that world.
It's a fun show, though.
Oh, shit.
Out of, like, all the ecchi shows, top 3 for me. It's just a fun show.
Oh, definitely.
Ugh.
That was actually probably one of my top 5 during high school, but let's be honest, that's probably one of everybody that's a male top 5.
In high school,
watching
that show. All right, yeah, you got anything else you want to chat about? Any shows, anything in particular? I think we're slowly building on this pretty well.
Yeah.
I think Seven Deadly Sins, if you had magic, that could be cool, too. I could see that.
Yeah.
That whole world, a lot of people have access to magic.
A lot of people are born with others trained it up.
Yep.
It's really weird.
Or you could be born a giant, or a fairy, or a demon, or whatever.
I don't know. That just how stupidly powerful demons are makes that world terrifying in its own right.
Yeah, but you have all the knights to protect you, worst case scenario.
Where there's only 7 capable of actually fighting them.
There's more than that.
Up front, right off the bat.
Yeah. You got Lightning, bitch boy.
Yell Thunder?
He can fight demons.
Yeah. The Reds and the Grays?
Yeah. That's the common threat. That's the thing.
But still, oh my god.
That being said, though, do you have...
I got nothing left right now, man. I'm pretty spent.
That's fine. You know, this was just meant to be a quick hangout and chat. We didn't get an episode up this weekend, so we had to do one real quick. Moving forward, we'll have bad episodes, or bad anime discussions. We'll kind of throw those in there as like a little segment, or as a whole episode. We'll kind of figure that out.
Yeah.
And then next week we have a plot for what we're going to talk about. I think that'll be a fun one, because I'm sure we could fill 4 hours easy talking about that, you know?
Favorite world to live in.
Yeah, and why, and making discussion, and we can all break down each other's worlds and things like that.
Yeah.
That being said, I think we had a lot of fun talking about, well, this huge list. We talked about, please Teacher, Your Lie in April, Angel Beats, Violet Evergarden, Clannad and Clannad After Story, Silent Voice, Conception, all the Fall 2018 anime, Bunny Girl Senpai, Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime, Goblin Slayer. We talked about Fate, we talked about Monster Musume, we talked about pretty much everything this episode. That being said, the podcast is going to end here. Live stream is going to continue, so that you guys hanging out with us live, hang out, we'll chat for a little bit, you know. Those of you on the podcast, feel free to, I don't know if there's, I guess you can like or follow the podcast on Spotify, and you can see when our episodes come out. Also find us on YouTube, youtube.com/c/Ohgrr, spelled phonetically, OHGRR. Links are all up in the descriptions above, below. I don't know what Spotify and YouTube do, but that being said, I appreciate you guys listening to the podcast. You got any final words, sir?
Not much, actually. I'll see you crazy people next week.
Kind of disappointed with your outro.
Well, what do you expect me to do? Laugh hysterically until the end?
Like you just did? Yeah, that's a good ending. Bye.